How you doing? Welcome to day one, April 1st, 2021 of Taking Your Power Back, the alcohol experience. A little bit about myself. My name is Oscar, and in January, actually I'm gonna take you a little bit before that. Around December 2019, I walked into a nutrition store to grab some protein. And as I immediately walked in and I told the gentleman behind the counter, this came out of nowhere. I told him, hey man, I'm not doing so well. Around that time, I was having like a lot of high anxiety. I was very depressed. I was just kind of like in a state where I knew there was something there, and I admitted it to myself. I admitted that I wasn't okay. And I did it to a complete stranger, which was kind of the funniest thing ever. We're friends to this day, but I walked in and I told this complete stranger, I declared to myself, I'm not doing so well. And I'm so ever grateful for that one day because it actually shed a light on what was happening inside of me. And so when I was kind of looking inside and what was going on, I remember just thinking like my habits. I was overly caffeinating myself. I was taking a lot of pre-workouts, the energy drinks. I wasn't sleeping well. I was having all these mood swings. I was actually kind of looking at my bank account, and it was getting kind of close to zero, more frequently than what I wanted it to be. And so I'm kind of sharing this moment with this gentleman, and it hit me. What are my habits? What are my daily habits? What are my weekly habits? What has disempowered me? And that's when I saw and I zoned in on alcohol. And so then I started to get myself educated on alcohol. I started reading books on how alcohol was affecting my mind, my body, the addiction behind alcohol. Alcohol is actually the second most addictive substance. One is being caffeine. But as I was looking at my habits, I was drinking 4 or 5 times a week. And around that time, I was actually drinking not to have fun. I was actually drinking because I wanted to numb myself. I wanted to completely numb any type of sensation, feelings, emotions of what was I trying to avoid in my life. And alcohol was like a weekly thing that I was doing, overly doing it. Not to mention also how much money I was spending. I was spending hundreds of dollars on a monthly basis, enough to pay half a rent or even pay for a car note and insurance. So that's when I decided, okay, January's coming up. I'm going to give up alcohol. I'm going to do it for 30 days. So on January 2nd, 2020, I remember deciding that I'm going to go and give up alcohol for at least 30 days. I have been reading a book called The Alcohol Experiment, which I give a lot of recognition for because it actually kind of set me on this path daily. And at that time, I actually got with some friends, and even a good friend of mine was like, hey, I'm gonna go alcohol free too, but I'm gonna do it a whole year. And I'm like, you're stupid for doing a whole year. That's just dumb. Because in my mind, my lifestyle consisted and revolved around alcohol. So I couldn't even see really 2 days, 3 days without alcohol, let alone 30 days, let alone a whole year of no alcohol. So when my good friend told me this, I'm like, man, good luck to you, buddy. I'm just going to do it 30 days, and that's all I'm going to give you. And so as I went on this journey, I started off with the biggest question, and I'm going to leave you with this question as well, is why? There's a reason that you're watching this video, and it's because your why led you to this video. I'm gonna share my why. Why do I want to stop drinking? Actually, let me go with why did I drink? I drank because it was sociable. I was around friends. I was either at a nightclub, at a bar. I was either in a romantic setting. Anything that had to do with fun, I associated with alcohol. I also did it to relieve stress. After a long day, I would just grab my beer from the fridge, or I would go to a restaurant and I would have my alcohol. It would relieve stress. And another reason that I was drinking alcohol is because I was bored, I was alone, and I was lonely. So I had developed a dependency towards alcohol. If I didn't have anybody to spend time with, I always had alcohol to spend time with. And we're gonna go further around this journey on why we choose alcohol, more in the chemical effect, but also in the emotional effect of what happens, why we choose alcohol. So I was lonely, I was bored, I saw it as the fun thing to do around friends because all my friends were drinking alcohol. But then also, why then, if I was using it as fun, if I was using it to relieve stress, why did I want to stop drinking alcohol? And the reasons started to come at me just like that day that I walked into that nutrition store, because I had built up so much anxiety, so many things around my life were kind of falling apart, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, things were falling apart. And so I started to realize that even though I used alcohol to relieve stress or to have fun, I was no longer having fun. I was also developing a lot of stress, and I was developing a codependency on having alcohol around me at all times, either through the highs and the lows of my life. But then I realized that alcohol was actually leading to a lot of lows. And again, not also to speak on how much I was spending on a weekend. On a week, I was spending anywhere from $300 a week in some occasions. So if you add that up, that's a car note, even more than a car note. In some places, the whole month would be like a whole month's rent. So I started on my journey, and my why really led me to it. My strongest why is because my kids. When I saw Noah that he was doing this little gesture, I realized that I was now developing a way in the eyes of my children that I was an alcoholic drinker. And so I decided to do 30 days alcohol free. And around the same time, I started this group. And I only had maybe like a handful of people that got on the group, like 10 friends. And we all decided, hey, let's go 30 days alcohol free, yay. But that's it, just 30 days. And then I started to realize one thing. After the 30 days, after really learning about what alcohol, how it affects the mind, the body, and how it affects all these other things, and how marketing is just being pushed, and how we really built this concept of this addictive substance in our lives, I started to pull away from the matrix of alcohol. And the more information that I was learning, the easier it became. Nothing against AA. I went to AA. I'd had my meetings voluntarily, but there was just something about AA. It was about just sitting in a room or in a Zoom call and just hearing people and just staying quiet. You could share, that was great, but for me, I'm a very analytical person. I need to know what's damaging me. I need to know the science behind it. I need to know the chemistry, like creation of dopamine and serotonin. I want to know like how marketing and turning on your TV, how is actually brainwashing me to take alcohol. I wanted to get to like the real dirt of it. And the more information I got, the easier it was. I created a cognitive dissonance of moving away from alcohol. And the longer I did it, after 30 days, I decided to go and have a sober birthday. And after my sober birthday, I doubled that amount to 90 days. And after 90 days, I did 180 days. And then it was a year. And now I'm just over a year and a half. And during that time, I also had this Facebook group open. And all these people from all over the world, from South Africa, from Taiwan, Canada, from England, all throughout Europe, people were actually chiming in on this group. And I realized that I had done something that I promised a friend that I was going to do. About 3 years ago, I was going through a very difficult time in my life. I had high anxiety. I was actually coming out of a really abusive relationship that not only was it verbally, mentally, emotionally abusive, I was going through this verge of a breakdown. I'm not even talking about alcohol here. I'm talking about like the toxicity that was just being in a very dark place. And I had a church friend reach out to me. One of my brothers calls out to me. He goes, "Hey, I realized that I haven't given you a call in a while, and I heard that you were going through certain things in your life. And I just wanted to tell you that you're not going to walk alone. I'm going to be calling you every day after work, and I'm gonna walk with you until you get to the other side, because I've been there, and so somebody walked with me, so now I'm gonna walk with you. And he goes, just know that once you're done walking this path, once we come out of the woods, that one day you'll do the same. And I remember sitting in my car, and I was really kind of tearing up a little bit, because somebody actually cared that they were listening to me. And thankfully, during 2018, when I was going through this, I actually did walk past that through that time, and I'm also grateful for my friend. And so seeing how much the group has grown, seeing how people actually shared similar stories, people who have loved ones. In a way, I am sharing and I want to walk with you, but in a way, it's not really for you. It's really for the people in your life. This is for your kids. This is for your friends. This is for the people that love you. Because I know how much alcohol has taken away from me, and potentially even broken away so many different aspects of me, including my soul, that I chose to create this group and even this channel so people can actually get into a format that, hey, look, you're not alone. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you're not alone. I've walked through this, and I'm opening up this channel so I can walk with you as well. So in these next 30 days, or however long you feel like you're going to do this, or really throughout this whole channel, I'm walking with you. We're going to explore the effects of alcohol, why people drink, why you think you're going to drink. We're also going to explore kind of like the chemical compound of it, the emotional aspect of it, and how you can actually start to regain and take your power back. Since going alcohol free, I can tell you so many great things have opened up in my life. And I want to share that experience with you as well. Once you start removing this toxin from your life, you start to breathe. You start to come back to your own, like it starts to feel like you're coming back to your own wholeness. And so, welcome to this channel. Don't let this be like, today's my day one, because there could be multiple day ones. All I ask for you is to actually just bring some self-compassion on you. Wherever you're at right now in your state of life, whatever your relationship with alcohol, whatever that is, always bring back that compassion back to you. My name is Oscar, and welcome to this channel. Welcome to the first video, and I'm excited that we're taking on this journey together.